Hi, Dr. Marianne here. Thanks for joining me today. I want to show you how easy it is to implement my reading program. So I've been Orton Gillingham trained with over 200 hours of practicum hours, and the program I created fits the science of reading, but it's just so easy to use. And the child always says, wow, we're done, we're done. I mean, you move through the program so easily that I put on a clipboard the 9 steps. And when you buy the kit, you'll see the 9 steps. So I just have them put a chip on step 1. We finish that. We go to step 2. We skip that, finish that. We just go through to the 9 steps. So I'm going to show you what those 9 steps are. There are other videos that go through a lot of detail about this, but very briefly, we have the child say the letter name and the letter sound. S, T, T, F, F, C, K, P, P, J, J, K, K, L, L, M, M, N, N, and so forth. When they've done that for about 2 weeks and they comfortably say the letter name and sound, you can only have them say the sound, and you want to get automaticity with it. After they're comfortable with that and they're comfortable saying the vowels, then in the workbook, you're introducing word families. So then you're going to bring out these cards: unk, ink, ink, onk, ung, ang, ing, k, and then I've taught I've taught these, so it's se, si, si, and it could be side. So as you add more cards, I have over 128 of them. As you add more cards, because you're introducing a little bit at a time, you're going to be removing what the child is mastering. And I'd recommend having 3 piles: a pile that you're going to rubber band that has been mastered, a pile that you're working on, and then the pile that you're going to be introducing. Because as you find in the workbook, the phonics reading book, as you introduce things, you're going to want to introduce them with the phonogram card, like TCH and CH. That's something we learned today. So anyway, step 2 is going to be the sound circles. So what I do is I have the binder, and then I have a basket, and I put the students' materials in the basket. So I have sound circles. Now for the sound circles, I use the spelling list for the day. And here's the spelling list. And the spelling list is in my book 1C. Now, if you just want this spelling list, you can go on Teachers Pay Teachers under Orton Gillingham, Dr. Marianne, buy this book. So the first words we're going to do are bed. So when we do sound circles, you always want to say the word, have the child tap it out with you. B-E-D, bed. Then you're going to pull the sound circles down. We're going to use the pink for the consonant and the orange for the vowel. You're going to pull it down on your desk and say B-E-D. Then the child points to each sound, and they have to separate the sounds. B-E-D, bed. You don't see me pointing. B-E-D, bed. You're going to have students that are going to want to use their left hand. They're going to use their right hand. They're going to look at you while they point. They need to focus. This is how we're retraining the brain. So they need to use one hand, and they need to point very specifically to each circle as they say its sound. Underline it, bed. Then we say, bed becomes Ted. Bed becomes Ted. So we move the first circle away, and we say, the B goes away, and a T comes down. we're just bringing the same color circle down, but we're giving it a new sound. And then again, the student's going to point to ed, Ted. Ted becomes wed. And the child repeats you, Ted becomes wed. The t goes away, and the w comes down. W-e-d, wed. So where am I coming up with these rhyming words? In my head. So when I first trained in this program, I had a spiral index cards, and I would have the students, I would have the teachers write the words like bed. The second word is hat. The third word is lid. The fourth word is rim. And then I would have them write 2 rhyming words for each of those so that they didn't have to stress out over picking a rhyme. But it's just so easy to remember the rhymes yourself. Now, if you don't come up with a rhyme, you can let the student know we need a nonsense word here. A nonsense word is just a pretend sound. It could be a part of a syllable, though. It could be a part of a word. So let's say, for example, the word hat. You always want to start a new word, tap it out with your fingers, give it 2 rhyming substitutes, and then go to the next word. So hat, 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 and then you're going to bring the circles down, point to each sound, hat, hat. Hat becomes mat. The h, they repeat it, the h goes away, the comes down. At, mat. Mat becomes sat. And they repeat it, the goes away, and this comes down. If you point at to sat. You want to isolate those sounds. Those are phonemes. Now, if you have to pick a nonsense word, maybe when you get to like spelling exercise 2 or 3, you're going to have like the word link is in there with the NK. P-I-N-K. Link becomes pink. Pink becomes wink. When you have 2 circles, you could put them next to each other because in Orton Gillingham, each letter has its own sound. But when I trained with Spire, we would put that NK together and we would go unk, unk. So different programs do it differently. Do what works for you, what works for the student. And then INK is a word family. So anyway, that is step 2, which is the sound circles. Then go to step 3. So step 3 is when we use plastic letters. So I provide these plastic letters. I spray the vowels black. And I have the student line the vowels up, A, E, I, O, U, and then put the E at the bottom because we want to separate that I and the E. So the sounds are going to be A, I, is at the bottom. So let me just, so A, E, I, O, U says A, I, A. Okay, but move the E, the E at the bottom and separate that E and the I. And then what I do is I actually print that out. I'm going to show you here what I do. Where's the whiteboard? I put it on a whiteboard. It just messed up a little bit here. A, egg, in, off, When the child forgets the short vowel sound, you don't want to always tell them. You want to direct them to the whiteboard. Let them figure out the sound. They have to work at remembering that sound. So this is really important. Have a few whiteboards because I use them for teaching and I use them for leaving this. So I'll rewrite this by the time he comes back next week. So when you do that, so I have an outline in my planner that says the first consonants we're going to select are B, F, M, S, and T. And then the second set, we're going to do that set for 3 days. You're going to get your consonants. You're going to put the consonant in front of the vowel, behind the vowel, in front of the vowel, behind the vowel, one at a time. So that would look like B, A, and then, so ba, and then ab. be, okay, remember the E's at the bottom, but ideally it's be, f, b, I, ba, ob, ba, ub. And I do say the E last. I'm just, for this recording, I'm saying it in the order my brain remembers it. And then we'll do the F, put the F in front of the A, F in front of the I, the F in front of the O, but you're going to go in front, behind, in front, behind. So you're going to go fa, af, fi, if, fa, off, fa, uff, fe, f. Okay. So get your next consonant M in front of the A, after the A. Ma, am, mi, im, ma, ma, me, em. They're going to want to say me, and you're reminding them, no, this is a phoneme. Me, like member or memory. So me, not me, but it's a phoneme. It's a small piece of a word. Then we're going to do the S. So we're going to go sa, s, sa, si, is, sa, us, sa, us, sa, s. Okay. Then you're going to do the T as the last one. Ta, at, ta, et. Sorry. T, it, ta, ut, ta, ut, ta, et, because I put the E at the end. So that's the first set. So I have a planning guide. So you get this planner, and the student's going to do that set 3 different sessions. And then you just mark in your easy. So I have a planner here. This is what I mark daily. This is what is guiding me daily. So when I mark it, what the neat thing is I can say I'm doing set 1, check. The next time I meet, set 1 again, check. The next time I meet, set 1. And I could go right there and know what set 1 is. Plus, I have these little tubs that I give these to you in, and you can just automatically separate them so that you're not fishing through them every day. But and then to plan for the next day, set 2, and you're going to plan it for 3 days. Now, because this is very unique per student, some kids will get through it and understand it really quickly. Maybe your older students will understand it quickly. You may need to only go through it once, and then you would plan for the next time that you're going to do set 2. Plan for the next time you're going to do set 3. See how each day progresses, and you can modify it per student that way. So what you're going to notice is it's structured, systematic, and it's sequential. So we've done phonogram cards, we've done sound circles, we've done the plastic letters. So we've done 3 steps already. Now the 4th step is phonics reading. And this is wonderful because this is where you use my app, CDSM. Go to the music. Be sure you take your memory off so it doesn't shut off after a minute or 2. But you hear this beautiful music. It's just classical music. I can't play it too long because, but anyway, I also have letters in here. 26 letters in the English alphabet. But anyway, the music is what you're going to play for your student. And there's fast forward, there's pause. Now, I have these headphones that I could, that I use with my student. Instead of using my own private earbuds, I have this adapter that I put on these Apple earphones, and I plug it into my phone, and it's just so easy. And the kids love it. So now they're going to read from the phonics book. And the phonics book is, it's auditory and visual discrimination. So I love it. The first pages are going to be the students going to see in print what they've been doing with the letters and with the circles. So it's going to start with na, 2 sounds, 2 letters. Na, id, di, op, pa, ud, da, ka, uk, af, fa, ill, li. Okay, then it goes into a little bit more difficult. What about adding a consonant? So we have ought becomes got, lot, not, pot. Becomes rub, cub, sub, hub. They're playing the music in the left ear and they're reading, and it just is amazing how they can read it so much easier. And there's some beautiful stuff. We've got some 3-letter words where you add an S to make a 4-letter word. Knob, snob, cot, scot, cat, scat, nub, snub. Kids, dyslexic kids miss that extra letter in there. So we give them practice for that. We give them practice of 3-letter pat goes to pats, goes to past. So rut goes to rust, goes to ruts. Butt goes to bust, goes to butts. So they're really differentiating where those letters are and what those sounds are. We have some sentences we have them read. And then we have word families. What about rig to ring, rag to rang, rag, dig, ding, dog, dong. So that's auditory and visual discriminations. So this is beautiful. And you do a page a day. And when you plan it for tomorrow, you just put the next day. The next page, if you get through a half a page, it's okay. I just call that like page 3A and 3B. So if I get through the half of the page, one day I'll put 3A. And then I plan for tomorrow, 3B. So planning is just so easy. So that is in my book, 1B. You can get this on Teachers Pay Teacher if you want to try this. So we're going to check off step 4. Now, step 5 is just a pre-reading activity where I get a whiteboard and I put a word on the whiteboard. Well, I didn't clean that whiteboard, but I put a word on my whiteboard. So I have 3 of them, but I'm going to put the word that's from the spelling list. So I want to do, start with my easy words. The first word would be Doug. So as a child, well, let me go ahead and just take a minute and do that because it's my eraser. I have my eraser right here. Because I want to show you really how easy it is. Just have your markers ready and just write one of the, you know how we pull the sound circles down? Well, you're going to pick a different word, maybe a word for tomorrow. So you have the word Doug. Say Doug. In the word Doug, what sound does the letter D make? D. In the word Doug, what sound does the letter G make? G. Say Doug. In the word Doug, what sound does the letter U make? Ah. Then you're going to reverse it and you're going to say Doug. What letter says D? You could even say what letter name says D? D. In the word Doug, what letter name says G? G. And then you say in the word Doug, what letter name says U? So say Doug. Can you change the D to a M? Mug. See if they could do that. And then I start with beginning letters. Depending on the challenge that your student's going to be ready for, you can change out the last letter. You can change out the vowel, because when you do the Kilpatrick drills, those are the different levels of difficulty. Changing out the beginning letter, changing out the ending letter, changing out the vowel. When you get 4-letter words, dropping a letter out. Having the child know what the 3rd letter is, what's the 4th letter. When you add, consonant teams like sh or ch, what if you took it off? Can this child still know what the rest of the word is? So this whiteboard activity is really critical. It's very quick and short, and the children love it, but it's very essential. So that was step number 5. I call that pre-reading. Then we go into step 6, which is where we have our workbook. And the workbook starts exactly with the rhymes in the beginning. So how we were talking about rhymes, now the child's going to write what they've been reading. So you give an example, man, what rhymes with man? Tan and fan. And I talk about, here's man, and. What changes? The big beginning sound. Man becomes tan, an. Tan becomes fan, an. So they're learning the beginning sound is changing. The base of the word is not. And you may know that as onset and rhyme. But so we do those 3-letter words. Then it goes to 1 page a day. And then it goes to putting the correct vowel in a 3-letter word. Can you put the same vowel in a 3-letter word and a 4-letter word that matches? For example, put and pull, led and lend. What about caught and can't? So we're practicing with that. And then we have a page with CK and NK. We have a page with just putting the ending sound on a 5-letter word. CK and NK. So this workbook is a lot of fun. It's very engaging. And I'm going to show you how I use highlighter colors. So I have my 4 markers, and I'm going to help scaffold, is what it's called, support the child when I'm focusing on a certain sound that I'm teaching. When I'm doing NK, I'm going to have 1 color marker, and I'm going to highlight the line with the NKs and help him. And then you'll know when, because he's going to rush ahead and do it without me. And then CK will have a different color. So right now we just finished CH versus TCH. Okay, the T and the T with a CH protects a short vowel in a 1-syllable word. Many people don't know that, and I don't even know if teachers know that. I used to have an aide that said, I never was taught that. So if here's the word crutch with a TCH, if you don't put the T, that short vowel is going to change if you add ED or IND. So you could put the word watch. If you don't have the T, it's going to say waiting, waged. Okay, so another TCH is crutch, watch. Anyway, TCH, the T protects the short vowel. And then in our workbook, it shows N protects a short vowel too. But like the word crunch, k, n, ch, you hear the n, right? K, n, ch. This is 2 letters, but we just put 1 finger, 1 sound, 1 finger. I mean, it's 1 sound, even though it's 2 letters, but it's 1 finger because you don't always want to use 2 hands. So crunch, you hear the n, but crutch, you don't. K, ch. You only hear 4 sounds. But in the Kilpatrick drills and in the drills we use to assess kids, we ask, what's the 3rd sound in crutch? K, ch. The 3rd sound is What's the 4th sound? The 4th sound is ch. It's not T. Kids will maybe learn that there's a T in it, but you don't hear the sound. So your child needs to learn that. And that's what's unique to my reading program, because I introduce these right away. So that's the workbook 1. Now, 4th graders, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th graders have a workbook, which is called letter 4A. And the only difference, if you use that with the 1st graders, we don't write as much as we do auditory practicing. So then the same workbook has been built into the 5th grade workbook, which with much more in it. So the 5th grade workbook and older is 5A and 5B. Hope that's not too confusing, but that is just your workbook. Then I do another pre-read. Now, this is the same as if I was using the whiteboard, but without the whiteboard. I just pick a word from the spelling list. So, for example, my next word would be jug. Say jug. In the word jug, what sound is in the beginning? J. In the word jug, what's the last sound you hear? G. In the word jug, what is the vowel sound? Now, some kids don't know vowel. This is a great way to teach them vowels, A, E, I, O, U. They don't know, they can't remember the consonant versus a vowel. So anyway, this is a good time to remind them of that. What vowel do you hear in the word jug? It's the middle sound. J, G, is the middle sound. Can you use jug in a sentence? We poured the milk into the jug, okay, to serve it. So, and remember, if they forget the vowel sounds, the short vowel sounds, they can refer to this. That is step 7. Then we go to the workbook again for step 8. Now, I also have grammar tricks, and this is a time I take out a grammar trick, or I can work in the workbook. Grammar tricks, well, the workbooks are more grammar for, so 5B is grammar, 5A is phonics. If you haven't taught CECICY, GEGIGY, KEKIKY, TCHs, that's when you grab the grammar book and explicitly teach from that. Or you can use the workbook for the older kids, 5, and only so the older kids could go to 5B workbook. And that is, well, I washed it off, but that was where I taught the difference between the homophones there, and there. So I get my highlighters out and we talk about what the 3 different theirs are, or 2, 2, and 2. I get my highlighters out and I say, this is the number 2, this is the infinitive 2, and this is the TOO, which is too much or a lot. So I actually takes that session and I teach about the infinitive 2, that to walk is the infinitive of walked, walking, will walk. So we talk about past, present, and future, but the infinitive is to walk. You could say sleep. That's an irregular word, but past tense is slept. Present is sleep or sleeping. And future is will sleep. The infinitive is to sleep. So in a lot of our English sentences in my workbooks, we have the infinitive in there. And that messes a lot of kids up because they don't understand, why are there 2 verbs? You know, when I was in elementary school, in a private school, we did a lot of diagramming sentences. How many of you did that? And I love diagramming sentences. Little did I know God was preparing me to be a reading specialist. So that is how you tackle workbook 8. The workbook with step 8. And then last but not least is step 9, and that's the spelling test. So I have pre-printed pages of numbers 1 to 20, 1 to 25, 1 to 50. The first spelling test is 1 to 50, but your student won't have gone through all those words. So when they listen to the app, plug in that headphone. And if you have little guys, we have bone conduction headphones that fit behind their ears, really fun. So they only have to write the first letter sound, okay? But all 50, first letter sound only. Then the next time you meet with them, have them write the last letter sound only. The third time you meet, have them write the first letter sound with the vowel. The next time you meet, have them write the vowel with the last letter sound. You can do that even today as a practice with your child. See where they would be. See if they would do exercise 1 successfully. Oops. Exercise number 2. See, the minute I press it, it wants to play. Music's going to play in the left ear, and the spelling words are going to play in the right ear. Give your child like an early assessment. See what test would be appropriate for them. I've got 28, and I've made this free on Android and iOS. It's called CDSM, okay? I got it copyrighted 3 years ago, and I'm making it free. And that's step 9, and that's how easy it is. And we have seen kids make 1 to 3 year gains in only 30 sessions. It's nice if you could get 4 hours a week in, but some people can only get 2 hours a week. And that's what it is. I mean, it kind of hurts when I hear of parents making sports a priority when their kids can't read, but that's happened. But family time and sick time happen, but try to make that time up. So the neat thing is I'm offering a special package right now. Typically, my program is $1,997 for the digital files. Because of COVID, I had to get them on training. My tapes I've got, or my videos are 6 training videos with 2 extra training videos. I made everything digital, and I print this out for you. So I'm looking for 20,000 teachers who want to come to me, okay? I want to reach 300,000 dyslexic children. I know with God, all things are possible. So I want to help 300,000 students, and I'm making this program only $797. So until July 14th, and then that special deal is going to stop, and it's going to go up to $1,997 again. So I hope you take advantage of reaching out to me on my website, or you could call me at 626-629-3024 is my number. And let's have a 15-minute talk. And the website is dyslexia-solutions.com. You can schedule a time to meet with me there. So this is a deal you don't want to pass up. And I just want to end by saying, every child has a right to read. Bye-bye now, and God bless you.